Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to bring you along with me and refresh my booth location. I have a booth here in Topeka, Kansas at the Owl's Nest on Adams. Now, it was looking pretty sad and empty. Insert picture here. And we are going to get it filled up, and then I'm going to bring you back home with me, and we are going to make even more inventory that I will take in next week. Now, all the paint products, everything I'm using, you can find over on my website, upcycledbybrie.com. I will leave all of that down in the description box below. And of course, if you are new here, there's a little subscribe button down there and a bell next to it. If you click that, YouTube will let you know every time I upload a new video. After selling a piece of furniture last week, it was time to get in my booth and get it restocked. Here is a look at what everything was looking like before. Now, I have 2 booths currently, but at the end of the month, I will be closing one down and moving everything to this location to focus more on my website and my YouTube channel. So I'm moving everything over today, getting it all reorganized and condensed. I didn't have a ton of new inventory to add, but I did have the inventory from the other booth. So I like to take a step back and get the overall picture, decide where I'm going to put my big pieces first, then I'll start adding in mediums, and then go in with my smalls. I pulled the sign from my other location and attached it to the top of these doors. It's a lot bigger, made from an old footboard. Over at this location, I have my back wall where I keep a big piece of furniture. In this case, it is the vanity. I ended up scooting it over to the right side and adding the big pail and several windows on the left to fill up my back wall. It always gets worse before it gets better. I have everything moved over, and now it's time to get it all put together. I have quite the hodgepodge of things in my booth right now, so I wanted to make each little vignette feel like its own little area. On the back wall, I'm going French country cottage, really focusing on brown, white, and blue. This is how my business started, and I will never get rid of a booth location. I will always have one for sure. Here is a look at everything once I have it all fluffed and filled in. What do y'all think? Quite the improvement from before, or does it look like a hot mess? Now, as these things sell down, I am going to really dial in on a certain style, so stay tuned for some upcoming videos on what I do with my booth here in the near future. When I dropped the old drawer because it was my biggest one and it was going to give some good height in my booth, but then I realized I could use the pieces and make some really cool looking vintage signs. Here's a peek at them. Let's take a look at the process. It was super simple. I grabbed my favorite colors of DIY paint, my JRV stencil brushes, and my JRV stencils. I grabbed a few different stencils, mixed and matched them, and came out with some really cool designs. The biggest secret to a good stencil is using a very dry brush. I got just a little paint on my brush, offloaded most of that paint onto a paper towel, and now I'm using a very light swirling method over the stencil. JRV stencils are super thick. They are made to be used over and over again, so they're great for retailers. And the brushes are very dense. The bristles are very close together, so it gives you a nice crisp image with very little effort. I wanted to do a big batch painting, so like I said, I gathered up several different stencils and several different pieces of wood and went to town. Now, a lot of these will be going to my booth, but of course I did load some up to my website as well. I'm working with 3 different colors: Apothecary, Old School, and White Swan. Now, some of the paint ends up getting mixed and blended on my stencils, and I didn't mind. It gave it more of a vintage look. Now I'm gonna grab all of my mini stencils and make some tiny little salvage signs. I've got the Crock Minis, the Grain Sack Minis, and the mini jar label pack. After everything had a chance to dry, I'm taking a block of 220 grit sandpaper and lightly sanding over, giving everything a distressed finish. My clear beeswax came in, so I transferred it over to this mason jar to make sure it didn't dry out. I'm applying it with just a little cheap stencil brush here, working it down into the wood grain. You can see how it's darkening that wood up and really making the stencil pop. The beeswax in white. I love the beeswax just as much as the DIY wax. Now, have you tried Sweet Pickins wax before? Leave me a comment below. After I get everything waxed up and let it dry, I stage it all up on this piece of furniture to take some pictures for this video and for my website. And here is a look at some of the finished signs. What do y'all think? Do you think this will be a good addition to my booth? Is this something you would put on the shelves in your home? I really love this trash to treasure makeover. I have a ton of new friends here and I'm dying to know, how many of y'all have a booth location yourself? Leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Those two things help my channel grow, which helps me continue to bring you more amazing content. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye friends. New content. Have a
What? Are you gonna help me paint those signs for all these pets? Macy.
Quit. Guess what? Squirrel.